As Thanksgiving nears, a seasonal gift to President Eisenhower is this strutting, impressive 39-pound tom turkey, claimed to be the handsomest bird in all Nebraska, and perhaps the other 47 states as well. All the trimmings for the White House dinner come with him, a big basket of cranberries to complete the holiday platter. It's a lucky bird that graces the president's table, and he's gobbling with excitement at the prospect.
Yes, it was a lucky bird that graced President Eisenhower's Thanksgiving table in 1955. And we're a lucky podcast today because we have a special Thanksgiving guest gracing our studio. Sadly for Tom Turkey, his luck soon ran out. The president ate him. That was 70 years ago. The modern-day tradition of presidents pardoning turkeys didn't start until 1989. President George H.W. Bush was the first president to give a formal, official presidential pardon to a Thanksgiving turkey. And what was the name of that turkey? You're absolutely right, it was William. Since then, presidential turkey pardons have become big, extravagant White House events with comical turkey names, comical turkey quips, and lots of giggles and gobbles. No doubt, since the late 80s, as a political junkie, you've watched every White House Thanksgiving pardon ceremony. And like most Americans, you've probably even memorized them. Turkey names, turkey jokes, turkey gobbles, the whole thing. So this year, let's turn it into a contest. A White House Thanksgiving presidential turkey pardon ceremony contest. And who's best equipped to lead this contest? You're right again. It is Justin Robert Young. Justin Young is host of Politics, a twice-weekly free podcast where he, as he puts it, dives into the wild world of American politics. Justin is a friend of C-SPAN, a friend of this podcast, and a true political junkie. Everything that follows is unrehearsed, unscripted, unbiased, unfiltered, and even a bit unsure if it's going to work. But for now, please welcome to the Extreme Mortman podcast, Justin Young.
And I am honored to be on Extreme Mortman. This is a tremendous gift that I have been bestowed, and that is to bring one of my favorite challenges to one of the most beloved and unique figures in political media, Howard Mortman, whom, from the first time that we spoke, that you came on my show, I had this feeling in my soul that you have such an encyclopedic knowledge of C-SPAN clips that you could determine the decade of a clip simply by the mic hum. And you would not even know, like, that you had this skill, but you would have this skill. And so you came on my show once. We put this to the test. You were shockingly good at it. So much so that, much like the candied yams, I am here now on Thanksgiving on your show for your listeners so they can also play along at home.
Justin, this is a takeover of the podcast. I'm going to turn it over to you with the help of Shannon Rice, and I will just say Justin Young is one of the. I hope everybody listens to his podcast. He's great, and he's here in studio in the glass enclosed nerve center of C-SPAN Radio. Justin, and traveled all the way. Where'd you come from, by the way?
From Austin, Texas.
From Austin, Texas.
Where I am from. Yeah.
Just do this. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to you right now.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Well,
Justin.
First we're going to do a little test.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to play some ambient sound in each of these clips, and for each of them after this one, you're going to have to determine the decade. We'll wait until we get to the end, okay. And then you can maybe scratch down some notes as we go along, but we will play through them, and you can order them. We have 4 decades you're going to put into, but just to get you know, this is a Thanksgiving episode, so these are kind of the appetizers. These are sort of the finger foods that's being left out here. This is not a turkey pardon, okay. But we want to play this audio for you, and we'll see if you can tell where it's from.
Okay.
Are decisions to dismiss cases, as with that one, unreviewable?
The text of Rule 48 requires, in the instances presented by the Adams case, that dismissal only be provided for with leave of the court. That's as near a quote as I can give you. And the entire brief that I submitted acknowledged that point because we were seeking the leave.
Mr. Bove, I am concerned about the quid pro quo that the judge concluded had been done.
Okay, Howard, do you know where this is from?
All right, I'm going to be way off. That wasn't Senator Al Franken, was it?
No.
No, it was Senator, a Democratic senator.
It's a Democratic senator.
Senate Judiciary Committee. Mm-hmm. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse?
No.
No, all right.
It is Senator Blumenthal talking to Associate Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove in this year, 2025, about the dismissal of Eric Adams' case. Again, not a turkey pardon because the Adams was not convicted. So despite the fact that he was brought up on charges of bribery from the foreign nation of Turkey, it was not a turkey pardon. So there we go. Perfect. That's our test.
Yeah. You cleanse
That's
the
our
palate.
test. We're going to cleanse the palate.
Nicely
Here
done.
we go. The rest of these are...
And that was the easy one? All right.
This was just to get things started.
Oh, God.
This is just to get things started. Okay, the rest of these are actually the from the famous turkey pardon ceremonies that are held, as you pointed out, starting in the late 80s. We are going to have a 90s, a 2000s, a 2010s, and a 2020 clip. Let's play the first.
I'm going to go Clinton, 1994.
Okay. That's your first guess. You might want to write these down because we're gonna play. I'm not gonna lock you in to any of these.
Can I explain
until we get? Yeah, but
the
please
reason why
give me.
The reason why I say Clinton 1994 on that is because the music's playing and the reporter's talking to him.
Yeah.
And I don't think since then they have waded into the crowd of reporters since Clinton to answer questions. I'm going to be way off on this. So I'm saying for the first clip it's Clinton 93 or 94.
Okay. Now again, you're going specific on the year. You only need to pick the decade, but this is the kind of extreme professionalism that you get from the dean of extreme himself, Howard Mortman. All right, let's go ahead with our second clip.
Careful there. Careful, Cole. Come on, girls. Don't. They always keep a little bit of distance. Come on, you got to be right next to me. All right. Are we ready? All right. Cheese, you are hereby pardoned from the Thanksgiving dinner table. Congratulations. Gobble, gobble.
Okay, for this clearly it's President Obama. I'm going to say it was indoors because of the echoing of the photographs echoing, and I think I didn't do any studying of this. I think the indoor ones were 2012 or 2011. I think he went indoors for this, but it's definitely. I think he did it twice. He went indoors because of the weather. So I'm going to guess Obama and
okay.
What year? What decade was it? 2010s? Is that what would they call that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. All
so
right.
you would say Obama 2010s.
Yeah.
And your guess is 2012, 2013?
Yeah, because I didn't hear his kids in that one, and his kids showed up later on and didn't like the dad jokes. So that's why I'm guessing 2011. Let me just say Obama 2011 for that one.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and play number 3.
One girl and one boy to come look at this turkey hook. You guys made it. You don't get it before. Come on, go see girls. No way. All right, you guys.
I get a hint. I get a whiff of hydraulic lift in that clip.
Yeah,
kind of like gooseberries in your fine wine.
There is something that is a common thread when you watch a bunch of these back to back, and that is there is no noise control around the White House.
Yeah,
like there is no guarantee that there's not. I mean, I can only imagine what's going to happen this year when they try to pardon a turkey while they're ripping down. When they're doing massive construction on the White House, how much noise is going to be there? But
turkey pardon with a jackhammer.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. The hydraulic lift. Boy, that threw me off. It sounded like a little President Bush, H.W. Bush in there.
Okay.
Which would have been. I don't think he did 192. I'm going to guess. 1990 for. Let me just guess 1989 for George W. Bush and George H.W. Bush. I think that's flat out wrong. I regret that answer.
Okay, so let's put Bush
1989. Yeah. Okay.
All right, and then
not too late to change.
It's not too late. Shannon saying, "Boy,
we'll have full chances to go back. We can replay clips and everything.
Okay.
So we're not locking in.
So we get second
right
helpings
now.
of some of the food that I like.
Well, yeah, you don't have to log anything in until you've heard all of them, and then you can move it around.
Like every Thanksgiving dinner, my favorite food is lasagna. Okay,
that's a big thing in my family. We the manicotti and stuffed shelves. Big deal on Thanksgiving, yeah.
Also, the only food that I know how to cook are bouillon and sticks of gum. That's what I bring at the potluck. By the way, when I show up at Thanksgiving dinner, like they start eating, I always say, "No thanks, I already brushed my teeth." That's how I begin. All right, turn it back. This is your show.
Here we go. This is our final clip before we go through everything.
Yeah. That one is so mean, Justin, because that is the toughest one of all. I swear it sounded like Clinton again, but I've already said Clinton. I know you've said I can move things around.
You can.
And the press corps is laughing, or at least the audience is laughing. It's so tough to distinguish the press corps. Oh, geez. I was really adamant that the first one was Clinton, but that was obviously Clinton in there. I don't know what to say at this point. I'm completely stumped.
Well, we have our. I will go back and point out that if one of your selections is Bush 1989, that is incorrect because we only have the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s.
All right.
So you need one from the 90s,
I need one
from the 2000s, one from the 2010s, and one from the 2020s. I think we can lock in the first one. I think you probably have one that you can pretty easily lock in.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the Obama 2011 one? Is it, or which one?
That would be it. We're gonna go ahead and give you that one. You were correct that it was indeed indoors.
Indoors, yeah.
It was indeed with Sasha and Malia.
Oh, it was.
It was 2014.
2014.
Darn. He was pardoning mac and cheese. And here's some more trivia for you, Howard. During that clip, he comes out and says, "This is obviously going to be the most controversial executive order that I've made this week."
Yes.
Do you know the other executive order that made waves in 2014?
Was this involving immigration?
Yes.
It was involving immigration. This was... Remind the listeners, Justin, what it was in 2014.
This was the Deferred Action for Parents of Americans. So this was after DACA, which has remained very much in the news. But this was DAPA, lesser discussed, DAPA, protecting 4 million undocumented immigrants from deportation if they had U.S. children or legal resident children that met certain criteria. That got a big laugh as mac and cheese were awaiting their pardons that President Obama made that joke. Well, that takes one of them off the table.
By the way, two things. You've done something very important there. You've turned this into an educational, instructive moment here on the podcast, and we always like to teach. And because Rachel Katz has joined us, I will say mac and cheese. Actually, that's the story of Hanukkah, is when the mac and cheese
when it hits the table.
Well, that's when they defeated the bad guys, the mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Justin. That's the Maccabees.
The Maccabees.
I get that wrong. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to fail the other clips. Walk us through the other clips.
You are
Justin.
not going to fail the other clips. You're not going to fail the other clips.
All right.
So,
are we able to play? Yeah, let me ask.
Sure.
You,
yeah.
Are we able to play any of these again? Are any of these like flat out? The rest are flat out wrong, right? Like, is there any?
I will say that you only flat out got one of the presidents wrong.
I did. Okay. Can you do you know, is it possible, Shannon and Justin, to replay the president that I flat out got wrong? And I'll listen closer this time.
Let's go ahead and play our first clip again.
Okay. Okay. Well, if I guess the song that was playing, does that give me any points?
No.
God Bless America?
No.
Okay. I was all right.
It doesn't.
All right, I'm going to guess.
And to be totally honest, Howard, since you are the dean of all of these C-SPAN clips, you know these encyclopedically. Yes, I am pushing your skills
you are
to the
pushing
very
me.
limit.
Good for you. I'm getting.
But we can either leave this
George
one,
W. Bush in 2002 after 9/11, and the turkeys were a fryer and flyer.
That is incorrect.
Okay. Which part of that? The whole thing?
All of it.
Okay.
You absolutely
got the whole
beefed
thing wrong.
that one to an unprecedented degree. I can reveal that one to you.
Okay, go ahead. Let's do some answers.
That was President Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. in 2023 pardoning Liberty and Bell. But it was at a time where some of the conversation around Joe Biden was getting a little bit louder. This was after the midterms. This was probably even in sunnier days compared to where things got toward the election. But it was part of the reason why the press was asking for him. He ignored them entirely and went right to the crowd and did a little crowd work.
Fabulous.
In there. But there we go, 2023.
All
now
right.
these other two,
Should we just go right to the answers
you
now?
actually have a good beat.
Okay.
You've got a good beat on them.
Okay.
So we have had a 2010s.
Yeah.
We have had a 2020s.
Yeah.
I will tell you that your instincts on both of those names are correct. Mm-hmm. So the question is, who is in the 2010s? And who is in the 2000s and who is in the 90s?
All right. So that would be clip number 2 would be the 19. I'm sorry. Actually, let me just go backwards. Can we play the one that's from the 1990s? And I'll do my best to say the president and the year.
Yes, we can.
One girl and one boy. Come look at this turkey cook. You two guys made the turkey. You don't get any more. Come on, go see girls. No way. All right, you guys. Okay, out of the way of the camera.
Okay, so that's. I know I'm not going to get points. The point is the year. The president's George H.W. Bush, and I have to name the year. So it would be. He seemed relaxed, and he was kind of relaxed after he lost election to Bill Clinton. I'm going to go with 1992 for that.
You nailed it perfect.
Oh, look at
You
that.
absolutely nailed it.
Okay.
Stone cold.
Oh, my
Absolutely.
goodness. Okay.
It was George H.W. Bush in 1992.
Yeah.
I'm efforting to find, I did not make it into my notes, the silly names of the turkeys, but we will hope to have those at the end, which leaves
Yeah.
one more.
Yeah.
Can you guess the year?
All right.
This one should be pretty easy.
This would be the 2000 decade to 2010.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I am ready to listen again. I have to go 100% on this one.
Yep.
Because it's Bill Clinton. It has to be
Yes.
2000.
It absolutely is 2000. That was November 22nd, 2000. Not a heavily publicized turkey pardon, because what else was happening on November 22nd?
Oh, you're totally right.
2000?
You're totally right. It was Florida.
The Florida recount. Florida's manual recounts were underway in several South Florida counties, including Palm Beach, Miami-Dade, and where a young Justin Robert Young was growing up in Broward County in 2000, as I was a incoming senior in high school. In Broward County during the manual recounts. Miami-Dade County had just voted to stop its manual recount, and Republicans, lawyers, and protesters had just done what became known as the Brooks Brothers Riot to help shape the conversation of the recount down there. The Florida Supreme Court had ruled 2 days earlier to extend the certification deadline. 930 votes at the moment of this turkey pardon separated George W. Bush and Al Gore statewide in Florida. Jerry was the name of the turkey that was pardoned.
Justin, I have to ask you, what were you doing? Were you either at the dinner table at Thanksgiving, or were you watching C-SPAN on November 2000? Like, you were just zoned in watching.
You have no idea how much I was mainlining any and every bit of information about that. My high school science teacher was one of the hand manual recounters for Broward County. He volunteered to do it. And that very much shaped my political worldview to get a ground zero view of what true political chaos looked like, and that was very much it.
You've been great in this podcast. Tell us about your podcast and how the listeners to Extreme Mortman can also listen to Justin Young.
Well, friends, if you enjoy the mission of C-SPAN to bring you the news about as unfiltered as it can possibly get, then you will love Politics. What I effort to do is something that C-SPAN is right to stay away from, and that is to understand the political calculus of what is working. So while C-SPAN brings you all of the rallies and the commercials and everything that goes along with it, I will do my best to call balls and strikes and explain what is working, what is not working, and where things are going to end up when everybody heads to the polls. That's what Politics is all about. Twice weekly, and more than that if you subscribe to Substack, in the podcatcher of your choice.
I will just say parenthetically that a beauty of your podcast is, even though you, as you say, call balls and strikes, you're still unbiased. You don't have a team that you're cheering for.
No.
Which is
No, I desperately have a hubris to be correct in who's going to win. And so the one thing that I will guarantee you I will not do, and I very much guarantee you, especially now, let's say theoretically a few weeks ago when Election Day was happening and all your favorite people that you rely upon to tell you what's going on, sometimes when it comes closer to Election Day, people revert to a certain way to go. Not me. Not I. I am only beholden to being correct on what I believe. I am that self-centered that I need to be right every single time. And that's where that is my promise to you, the viewer.
Justin, thank you for joining us here on Extreme Mortman Special. By the way, we only do the Thanksgiving episode once a year, so this is it's quite a treat. I want to thank 3 fans of yours in here in the C-SPAN studio running the clips. And we've never done anything like this before, completely unrehearsed. Shannon Rice at the board, the great Caitlin Jacobs helping along with us, and Rachel Katz is the voice of laughter you may have heard in the background right now. So. Thank you, Justin. Wishing everybody a happy holiday as we do in the podcast world.
I'm going to take a few leftovers from the Thanksgiving spread we have set up here and put those in my pockets as I walk out the door.
All right, we're going to loosen our belts now and go listen to more podcasts. Thank you for joining us here on Extreme Mortman. Justin Robert Young.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to get this extreme.